When people talk about karma, they usually picture something slow, poetic, justice that takes months or years to circle back. But in my case, karma came instantly. One clever idea, one carefully executed plan, and I caught my wife in the act, literally, with no room left for excuses. My wife Meera and I had been married for 10 years. We met in our 20s when life felt limitless and love felt simple. She was bright, beautiful, and spontaneous, the kind of woman who could make any room lighter just by walking in. I was steadier, the planner, the guy who made sure bills were paid and routines were kept. We balanced each other, or so I thought. Over the years, I noticed shifts. Not sudden, dramatic ones, but small cracks in the foundation. She became more secretive with her phone, turning it face down whenever I was near. She started dressing up more for work lunches. She laughed at her texts in a way that felt too private. At first, I convinced myself I was overthinking. But suspicion, once planted, grows like a weed. The breaking point came one evening when I kissed her cheek as she left for a late client dinner. The faint smell of cologne, not mine, lingered on her blouse. That was when I knew I didn't want to scream or confront her blindly. That would only give her the chance to lie, twist, and cry her way out. I wanted undeniable proof, and I wanted her caught so completely that no excuse would save her. That's when the idea of the surprise came to me. Meera's birthday was coming up in 2 weeks. Perfect timing. I told her I had to travel for work the night before her birthday, that I'd be out of town and sadly miss the day. She sighed, pretending to be disappointed but hiding it poorly. I already suspected she would use my absence to see the man she was sneaking around with, so I planned my clever surprise. Instead of leaving town, I booked a suite at the very hotel she often used as her excuse for client dinners. With the help of my younger cousin, who worked in event management, I arranged a small birthday surprise setup in the hotel banquet hall. Balloons, a cake, and a few close friends waiting quietly. The plan was simple. When Meera came with her lover, she'd walk straight into her own party, with all eyes on her. The night came. I kissed her goodbye, suitcase in hand, and pretended to head for the airport. Instead, I drove straight to the hotel where my cousin had everything ready. We dimmed the lights, set up the cake, and waited. My heart pounded so loudly I could barely think. At around 8:30, I got the message. She just arrived. My cousin, who had placed a staff member at the lobby, confirmed it. Meera wasn't alone. She walked in with her so-called boss, a man I had met once at a company event, slick-haired, overly charming, the type who always complimented another man's wife a little too much. They didn't go to the banquet hall. They went straight upstairs. My stomach twisted, but I held my nerve. Timing was everything. We gave them 30 minutes. 30 minutes for her to think she was safe, for her to step fully into her betrayal. Then I knocked on the door of their room. No answer. I knocked again, louder this time. Finally, the door opened, and there stood Meera, hair messy, lipstick smeared, wearing the silk dress I had bought her last year. Behind her, the man stood shirtless, scrambling to cover himself. The look on her face was worth every ounce of planning. First shock, then horror, then desperate calculation. "Raj, what are you doing here? I thought you were out of town?" I finished for her, stepping inside. "Yes, that's what you thought." "Happy birthday, Meera." Her eyes widened in confusion. "What?" I gestured toward the hallway. "Come on, everyone's waiting." Before she could process, I guided her back downstairs, ignoring her frantic whispers of "please, not here, not in front of everyone." The doors to the banquet hall opened. Lights flicked on. Balloons rose. Our friends and a few family members shouted, "Surprise!" only to be met with Meera's disheveled appearance and the half-buttoned man trailing behind her. The silence that followed was deafening. My cousin played the video I had prepared on the big screen, photos and screenshots I had collected over weeks, showing her secret texts, her late-night meetings, her hotel receipts. The evidence rolled on like a damning movie reel. Gasps filled the room. Her best friend covered her mouth. Her parents sat frozen, faces pale with shame. The man she'd been with bolted out of the room, too humiliated to stay. And Meera? She broke. She sobbed, she begged, she tried to grab my hand. "Raj, please, I made a mistake. I love you. Don't do this here." I pulled my hand away. My voice was calm, almost too calm. "The only mistake you made was thinking you wouldn't get caught. This isn't just a surprise party, Meera. This is karma. Instant karma for every lie, every betrayal, every time you thought I was a fool. The room stayed silent. Everyone had seen enough. That night, I didn't just end a marriage. I ended the illusion. I packed my bag, handed her divorce papers a week later, and walked away. Meera lost more than just me. Her parents refused to support her for months. Her so-called boss, now publicly exposed, distanced himself. The friends who once envied our perfect marriage cut ties. And me? I didn't need to yell, smash things, or beg for explanations. My clever surprise had done the job. I exposed her right in the act, stripped away every excuse, and let karma deliver its blow instantly, with the whole world watching. Sometimes justice doesn't wait. Sometimes, if you're patient and clever enough, you can serve it yourself and watch as karma does the rest.